Baseball is an intriguing sport, one which doesn't have much popularity in the UK. My knowledge is light, but I am continually learning and improving from understanding the nuances of each position to the stats and rules. I am a long-time Football Manager player, back to the early incarnations of its former branding Championship Manager. The development of that series has been incredible. Over the years, most other management games have been inferior on such a grand scale to the point of mediocrity. But Out of the Park is a breath of fresh air, a similar alternative with a heavy reliance on statistics rather than tactics. Football Manager focuses on the finer details of setting up a team and delving into the relationship between players and their happiness. There is an element of this too within Out of the Park, but the learning curve is much steeper. One does not merely enter Out of the Park and hit strides immediately. For most, it can be overwhelming. To put things into perspective, I previously owned Out of the Park 15 and 18. I launched them both and closed within minutes. It was impossible to know where to start or what to do next. I recently took the time to learn the sport and took a keen interest in the game. An understanding of the series began to grow. I understood the roles better between a general manager and a manager. My eyes were open as I realised my limitations and worked to my strengths in gathering data rather than selecting strategies and lineups. The advancement in the series from the UI and 3D game engine is staggering. Gone are the peg players, placed with models resembling a person, and they animate fine, which is a positive. A downside is that the text commentary during games often lags behind the physical action, but it doesn't bother me. I compare it to a live commentator. They hardly stop talking long after a play. What swayed me to get Out of the Park 21 rather than 20 was the updated rosters, especially as I'm intrigued to learn players and teams, but most importantly was a display of scouting accuracy. Before, users had to assume that scouting ratings were accurate, but now for the first time there is a display which explains the accuracy and knowledge level. Another bonus is the stadium creator. If I choose to create a new team, I can build a stadium, which is a nice feature to explore later. Panels can be switched and moved within the manager hub to display data which the user desires, rather than a predefined, unmodifiable set. This has already proved invaluable in enhancing my experience, along with the green continue button. In Out of the Park 18, apparently, in follow-up editions, many were frustrated not knowing what to do next after an event. Now everything is clear and intuitive. Advancing to games and the next point of interest is efficient and straightforward. More camera options are also available in 21 compared to previous editions, a fine-tuning of an already incredible game series. Even as a novice, I've taken to Out of the Park 21. It has now become my number one management game, pulling me away from Football Manager 20 for the first time at least. I'm still coming to terms with the drafting and trading within baseball, but immediately noticed a problem with the balance of my team. I chose the Boston Red Sox. It became clear to me early on that pitchers are the stars of the team, in the same way quarterbacks are in NFL. Maybe I could have got a better trade deal done, but being a novice, I did my best to get a new pitcher into the lineup. I reluctantly traded 4-star Rafael Devers to Cincinnati, and I do mean reluctant. He had recently managed 4 home runs, and since leaving continues to perform. I don't have any regrets though, as my new starting pitcher, Tyler Mahle, has managed 2 complete shutouts in a row, wiping out multiple batting lineups. The problem I envisage is trying to rebuild a team without losing a star player in a trade. As the general manager, I am enjoying the challenge and witnessing the team compete through injuries, pushing on and succeeding as I work on finding replacements to provide the manager with the best opportunities for success. Currently, we sit at 162, lost 52 with a .544 PCT. I'm not sure if that's a good statistic, but being tied with the New York Yankees and ahead of Toronto Blue Jays and a .461 puts me at ease knowing that the Boston Red Sox are at least being competitive. Aside from the main game mode of playing through seasons of MLB, there are other championships and leagues to play through from various countries in the minors. Exhibitions can also be simulated and watched between any of the teams from the past. I put Babe Ruth's Red Sox up against the recent New York Yankees team, which was thrilling to watch. The historic mode is something I would love to see in the Football Manager series, so kudos to Out of the Park developments for including the option. There is also a perfect team mode, which is much like the Ultimate Team from the FIFA series, but matches are simulated based on the player cards selected. These automated matches are played in the background so users can continue with their main game sessions and check back periodically. I'm not sure what improvements will come in next year's edition of Out of the Park, but I wholeheartedly recommend purchasing Out of the Park 21. It's the complete experience and incredibly addictive.